Listen, there comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes something life-changing. You don't lose people. You lose versions of yourself when you stop choosing you. And today, you stop that because the day you finally decide to focus on yourself, the world shifts, your energy shifts, your destiny shifts. You were not born to chase people. You were not born to beg for love. You were not born to shrink, to make others comfortable. Choosing yourself first every time means finally understanding that your worth is not negotiable, your peace is not disposable, and your heart is not a charity project for people who don't know how to value it. Every single day life tests you. It pulls you in different directions. Family expectations on one side, friends demanding your time on another, work pressure squeezing you from every angle, and society whispering, be available, be nice, be predictable. But here's the truth, no one teaches you. When you choose everyone else over yourself, you slowly disappear from your own life. And the day you vanish from your own priorities is the day the world stops seeing your value too. Choosing yourself first is not selfishness. It's self-respect in its purest form. It's waking up in the morning and asking yourself, what do I need? What do I want? What makes me feel alive? Instead of living for people who wouldn't even cross the street for you, you start living for the woman or man inside you who deserves peace, growth, and joy. Think about the times you said yes when your heart was screaming no. The times you helped someone at 2 a.m. but when you needed support at 2 p.m. nobody showed up. The times you prioritized someone's comfort while destroying your own boundaries. Choosing yourself first means you stop allowing those patterns to drain you. Sometimes choosing yourself looks like saying no without writing a 5-sentence explanation. For example, you come home after a long, exhausting day and a relative or friend expects you to run another errand for them. You feel guilty for wanting to rest, so you force yourself to go. That guilt is the world trying to manipulate your kindness. But the moment you say, I'm tired and I need to take care of myself today, something powerful happens. You reclaim control of your life. You teach the world how to treat you. Because people who benefit from your lack of boundaries won't clap when you build some, but build them anyway. Choosing yourself also means walking away from relationships that drain you, even if they feel familiar, even if you love the person deeply. You must understand this. Love is not enough when the cost is your mental peace. Imagine you're with someone who makes you question your worth every single day. One day they treat you wonderfully, the next day they're cold, distant, or cruel. You keep giving chances because you hope the warm version will return. But choosing yourself means saying, I deserve consistency, not confusion. It means not waiting for someone to value you before you start valuing yourself. And yes, it hurts to walk away, but staying hurts more. Even in friendships, choosing yourself becomes essential. Think of that friend who only calls when they need something but disappears when you need them. You keep showing up for them because you've always been the strong one. But strength doesn't mean breaking yourself to hold others together. Strength means recognizing when to step back and say, my energy is precious. I can't keep pouring into people who leave me empty. When you choose yourself, you become unshakable, not because you become cold, but because you become wise. Choosing yourself shows up in career decisions too. Maybe you've stayed at a job where you're underpaid, overworked, and undervalued because you're afraid of change. But deep down, you know you're meant for more. Choosing yourself might mean taking the risk, applying for better opportunities, learning new skills, or even starting something of your own. Ask yourself, why am I shrinking in places where I should be shining? You weren't born to be average. You were born to grow, evolve, and rise. And the world eventually respects those who respect themselves. Choosing yourself also means protecting your mental health. If scrolling through social media makes you compare your life to others, put the phone down. If certain conversations drain your spirit, excuse yourself. If some environments feel heavy, leave them. You owe no one an explanation for choosing peace. Peace is a luxury many people seek, but few are brave enough to claim. You can claim it simply by saying, I'm no longer sacrificing my mental wellness for anyone. Another powerful example is emotional availability. People will take pieces of your heart simply because you keep offering them. They'll come to you when they're lonely, bored, or hurting, but disappear when you need emotional support. Choosing yourself means saying, I am not an emotional convenience. You can be kind without being used. You can be generous without being drained. You can love without losing yourself. Choosing yourself also teaches you independence. Imagine you're always waiting for someone to make plans with, someone to motivate you, someone to tell you that you're capable. But choosing yourself means taking yourself out on dates, setting your own goals, and being your own cheerleader. When you become whole alone, nobody can come into your life and break you into pieces. Choosing yourself every time means waking up each day with the courage to choose the life you deserve, not the life others expect from you. Because at the end of the day, the relationship you have with yourself is the longest relationship you will ever have. And if you keep abandoning yourself for others, you'll end up living a life full of resentment instead of fulfillment. When you choose yourself, you unlock a different level of power, a level where your voice becomes stronger, your boundaries become clearer, your heart becomes wiser, and your energy becomes a magnet for good things. People start respecting you more. Opportunities start coming your way. Peace becomes your default state. And life finally begins to feel like it belongs to you, because it does. Choosing yourself first every time is not about ego. It is about survival, dignity, and reclaiming the throne you were always meant to sit on. Never return to people who hurt you because the pain they caused wasn't an accident. It was a lesson. And lessons are meant to guide you forward, not drag you backward. Life has a very direct way of showing you who someone truly is. When a person shows you their character through their choices, their words, their actions, or their silence, believe them the first time. The world becomes much simpler when you stop rewriting the same painful chapter, hoping the ending will magically change. People don't suddenly become gentle with the heart they once crushed. They don't suddenly value the soul they once ignored. And they don't suddenly treat you like a priority when they've always treated you like an option. Think about the last time someone hurt you deeply. Maybe it was a partner who lied, betrayed your trust, or made you feel small. You cried, you questioned yourself, you felt the sharp sting of disappointment. Yet days later, when they apologized with the same recycled words, your heart softened because you wanted to believe in the version of them you created in your mind, not the version they showed you in reality. That's exactly how people get trapped, by falling in love with potential instead of patterns. The potential tells you maybe they'll change, but the pattern says they won't. Never return to someone who hurt you, because going back doesn't heal you. It reopens the same wound you've been begging the universe to close. Look at your daily life and you'll find countless examples. Imagine you lend someone money out of kindness. They promise to return it but never do. Then one day they come asking again. You feel bad, you want to help, but deep down you already know the outcome. When you say yes again, you're not helping them, you're betraying yourself. The world tests your boundaries to see if you truly love yourself. And people who hurt you once will test you again to see if they still have access to you. Don't let them. Or think about that friend who only remembers you when they need emotional support. They show up when their world is breaking, but disappear when yours is falling apart. You keep opening the door because you think that's what good people do, but good people don't sacrifice their emotional well-being for those who treat them like a temporary shelter. You deserve relationships where support flows both ways, not connections where you're constantly pouring while others only take. Never return to people who treat your kindness like a convenience. Match their absence with your silence. Match their disrespect with distance. Match their indifference with closure. In romantic relationships, this lesson is even louder. When someone hurts you, whether through lies, manipulation, or neglect, you hope they'll realize your worth and change. But healing doesn't work like that. If someone truly valued you, they wouldn't have hurt you in the first place. Going back only tells them, you can break me again and I'll still stay. But you weren't created to be broken multiple times by the same hands. You weren't meant to be someone's emotional punching bag or their backup plan. When someone shows you they cannot love you correctly, walking away is not disrespect. It's self-defense. Picture this, you have a glass. You drop it. It shatters. You pick it up and glue it back together. It looks fixed, but it's weaker, more fragile. And if you drop it again, it won't just crack, it will explode into pieces. That is exactly what returning to someone who hurt you does to your heart. The first break is painful but fixable. The second break, that one destroys you. Spare yourself the destruction. Do not go back. Even family relationships teach this truth. Maybe you have a relative who always criticizes you, your weight, your dreams, your choices. No matter how much you accomplish, they find a way to belittle it. For years you tolerate it because they're family. But blood does not give anyone the right to poison your self-esteem. Boundaries are not disrespect, they're survival. You can love people from a distance. You can protect your peace without guilt. Returning to people who hurt you repeatedly only teaches them that their behavior has no consequences, and they will continue harming you because they know you will always return. Work environments offer their own examples. Maybe you worked under a boss who undervalued your efforts, never appreciated your contributions, and made you doubt your abilities. You left that job for something better, but months later they call you back with a tempting offer. It sounds attractive, but your heart remembers the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the burnout. Going back means repeating a chapter you already survived. Growth requires courage. Sometimes the best opportunities are the ones you turn down because your peace is worth more than any paycheck. Never return to people who hurt you also means releasing emotional attachment. The mind forgets, but the body remembers. Your spirit remembers. The anxiety you felt around them, the way your chest tightened, the tears you swallowed, your soul doesn't lie. When someone crosses the boundary of your emotional safety, they lose the privilege of access. Forgive them, but leave them where they belong, in your past. Forgiveness is for peace. Returning is for pain. Every time you think about going back, remind yourself of the nights you cried, the texts you reread, the apologies you never received, the days you felt invisible, the moments you begged for the bare minimum. Remember the version of you who was begging for love while bleeding inside. That version of you deserves protection, not betrayal. Life only moves forward. You cannot heal in the same place that broke you. You cannot grow in the same soil that tried to bury you. And you cannot rise while holding onto the hands that pushed you down. Never return to people who hurt you, even if the memories are sweet, even if the loneliness is heavy, even if your heart tries to convince you otherwise. The pain you felt was not a misunderstanding. It was a message. You deserve better, and walking away is how you claim it. Your peace is greater than their presence. Because at the end of the day, the only person who sleeps with your thoughts, your worries, your memories, and your reality is you. People come and go, but peace is permanent if you protect it. And protecting your energy is not optional. It is survival. It is the difference between living a life you control and living a life that controls you. The world has 1,000 ways to drain you. Arguments, expectations, fake friends, loud environments, emotional parasites. And unless you learn to defend your peace like your life depends on it, you will wake up every day exhausted without knowing why. Your peace matters more than someone's apology, more than someone's attention, more than someone's presence. Some people bring chaos wrapped in charm. They walk into your life with a smile but leave you emotionally bleeding. You have to be able to say, I love you, but I love my peace more, or even I care, but not enough to lose myself. A person can be good for your heart but poison for your mind. A person can be fun to talk to but heavy to carry. Peace is not found in the presence of people. Peace is found in the absence of disturbance. Look at your daily life. Think about that one person you always answer the phone for, even when you're tired. They call with problems, with drama, with complaints. They never ask how you are, they only unload. After talking to them, you feel drained, not better. That is your soul telling you, this person is too expensive for your energy budget. Protecting your energy means limiting access. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your emotions. Sometimes peace looks like muting someone's notifications. Sometimes peace looks like not picking up the call. Sometimes peace looks like stepping back and letting people solve their own storms. Imagine a day at work. You're managing your tasks, keeping yourself together, when a coworker walks over, the one who always criticizes, always competes, always tries to provoke you. They make small comments that feel harmless but stick to your mind like glue. You carry that tension all day, but the moment you stop responding to their negativity, the moment you choose silence over reacting, something magical happens. You reclaim your energy. Peace doesn't always come from changing others. Sometimes it comes from changing what you allow to affect you. Even in family, this truth hits deeply. There are family members who love you, and then there are family members who love control. They judge your decisions, criticize your dreams, make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. You try to please them but end up feeling smaller every time. Protecting your peace may mean refusing to explain your choices. It may mean loving them from a distance. It may mean saying, "I'm not discussing this," and walking away. You are not disrespectful for choosing peace. You are wise. And let's talk about relationships. Sometimes the person you love the most is the one who disrupts your peace the deepest. Maybe they're inconsistent or emotionally draining or unpredictable. One day they're warm, the next they're distant. You find yourself waiting for messages, questioning your worth, analyzing every word they said. That is not connection. That is emotional turbulence. Protecting your peace means recognizing when love has become anxiety. It means saying, if I lose myself while loving you, it's not love anymore. The right person will bring calm, not chaos. A peaceful heart is a powerful heart, and you deserve someone who adds to your peace, not steals it. Protecting your energy also shows up in small, everyday choices. Think about social media. You scroll through endless posts and suddenly you're comparing your life, your body, your success. You feel anxious, pressured, distracted. That's energy leakage. Protecting your energy might mean unfollowing accounts that trigger insecurity, reducing screen time, or choosing things that feed your mind rather than drain it. Your peace begins where comparison ends. Even the environment you live in affects your energy. A cluttered room creates a cluttered mind. Loud neighborhoods, toxic workplaces, messy friendships, they all drain you. Protecting your energy sometimes means cleaning your space, reshaping your routine, or distancing yourself from people who thrive on drama. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to absorb every emotion thrown at you. Peace is not found in control. It's found in letting go. Daily life gives constant reminders. Imagine you planned a quiet evening to recharge, music, tea, peace. Then someone demands your time. They insist, they guilt trip you. But protecting your peace means choosing your own needs over their pressure. It means saying, not tonight. It means choosing rest without apologizing for it. Peace grows when you water yourself first. Some people carry storms inside them, and if you let them, they will rain all over your world. Protecting your energy is realizing you're not responsible for fixing people who refuse to fix themselves. Their anger isn't yours, their chaos isn't yours, their choices aren't yours. Your peace must not be sacrificed on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. Your energy is sacred. It shapes your thoughts, your mood, your actions, your future. When your energy is polluted, nothing in your life feels right. Your relationships suffer, your dreams stall, your self-esteem drops. But when your energy is protected, you glow differently, you think clearly, you choose wisely, you attract better, you become unstoppable. Because a peaceful soul is a powerful soul. And when you protect your energy like your life depends on it, everything else begins to fall into place. Growing beyond your past means finally understanding that your history is not a prison, your mistakes are not your identity, and your old self is not your final version. You are allowed to evolve, even if the people around you prefer the weaker, smaller, quieter version of you. Not everyone wants to see you grow. Some people only liked you when you were easy to control, easy to predict, easy to underestimate. But life is movement, life is transformation, and staying the same just to make others comfortable is the slowest form of self-destruction. Your past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in. Every mistake you made was a classroom. Every heartbreak was a lesson. Every failure was a stepping stone. Yet, many people try to chain you to old versions of yourself, because that's the version that benefited them. When you decide to grow, something interesting happens. The same people who once said, "I care about you," may start saying, "You've changed." But that's the point. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to outgrow the people, habits, environments, and mindsets that kept you small. Think about your daily life. Maybe you used to be someone who always said yes to everything. Family demands, friends' requests, unnecessary obligations. You stretched yourself thin to be the good person, the peaceful one. But as you grow, you learn to say no without guilt. You learn to prioritize your dreams, your time, your health. Suddenly, some people complain, "You don't have time for us anymore." But the truth is, you finally stopped having time for things that drain you. That's growth. They don't like it because your boundaries expose their selfishness, or consider your older habits. Maybe you once lived in chaos, messy routine, late nights, toxic friendships, bad relationships, unhealthy lifestyle. Now you're trying to rebuild. You want peace, you want discipline, you want success, but your old circle still invites you to old patterns. Gossip, drama, laziness, distractions. When you say no, they look at you differently. They laugh, they call you boring, changed, acting too big. But growing beyond your past means walking away from rooms where your future can't breathe. Another daily example, imagine you decided to study again. Learn a new skill, join a course, start gym, or fix your finances. Those who aren't on a growth journey will feel threatened by your evolution. They'll say things like, "Why are you wasting time?" Or "You won't be able to do it," or "You're fine the way you are." But deep down they're afraid, because your growth exposes their stagnation. People who don't grow will always complain about those who do. Growing beyond your past also means forgiving yourself. Maybe in your past, you made choices you're not proud of. Maybe you trusted the wrong people, stayed too long in situations that hurt you, acted out of fear, or settled for less than you deserved. But you're allowed to outgrow that version of yourself. You're allowed to rise. You're allowed to say, "I didn't know better back then, but I know better now." Growth is not perfection, it's direction. Think about relationships. You might have once tolerated behavior that broke you. Mixed signals, disrespect, half-love, emotional manipulation. But growth means raising your standards, choosing healthier relationships, demanding honesty, loyalty, transparency. The people who once took advantage of you will hate this version. They will say, "You're difficult now," because the easy version no longer exists. The version that tolerated nonsense is gone. The version that accepted crumbs has evolved. And evolution always offends those who fed on your weakness. Sometimes growth is silent. You start waking up earlier. You start reading more. You start journaling. You start healing. You start cutting off negativity. You start working out. You start saving money. You start focusing on your peace. And people around you notice. They may try to pull you back, relax, why so serious, live a little, but they don't understand that you are living now, more consciously, more intentionally, more powerfully. You're not rejecting them. You're choosing a better version of yourself. Your past environment might try to convince you that you're not capable of changing. Maybe your family always said, "No one in this house achieves big things." Maybe your society said, "People like you don't dream too high." Maybe your mistakes made you believe, "This is just who I am now." But growth breaks those chains. Growth whispers, "You can rise." Growth shouts, "You're not done yet." Growth pushes you to rewrite the story that others tried to write for you. You are allowed to evolve even if people don't like it. In fact, their discomfort is proof that you're moving in the right direction. Because when you grow, you break roles they assigned you. You break expectations they put on you. You break the version of yourself that made them comfortable. You were never born to stay the same. You were born to expand, reinvent, transform. The past is a reference, not a sentence. Every day you wake up, you get the chance to become someone your past self would be proud of. You get the chance to rise above the patterns that once trapped you. You get the chance to choose strength over fear, purpose over confusion, and evolution over stagnation. Growing beyond your past is not betrayal. It's liberation. You're allowed to evolve even if others don't clap for it, even if they don't support it, even if they don't understand it. Their approval is not needed for your transformation. Your evolution is your responsibility, your duty, your birthright. Investing in your future self means choosing discipline over comfort, purpose over distraction, and long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It means understanding that the version of you 5 years from now is shaped by the decisions you make today. What you read, what you learn, who you spend time with, what habits you build, and what goals you chase. Time spent on self-growth is never wasted, because growth is the only investment that guarantees a lifelong return. Everything else in life can be taken away, money, people, opportunities, but the person you become will always remain with you. Every day, life gives you 2 choices, evolve or remain. And the truth is, your future self is begging you silently, please don't stop. Please don't settle. Please build me into someone powerful. Investing in your future self is not a luxury. It's survival in a world that demands evolution. Think of your daily habits. Maybe you wake up and immediately reach for your phone. You scroll for an hour, losing time, losing energy, losing focus. But imagine if instead of scrolling, you read 10 pages of a book, or learn something new, or planned your day. That small shift, just 10 minutes, accumulates. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes a new version of you. Look at people you admire. Leaders, entrepreneurs, confident individuals, calm minds, successful souls. They didn't wake up one day magically transformed. They built themselves through small, consistent investments. You can do the same. Start with small decisions. Drinking water instead of soda, walking instead of scrolling, reading instead of gossiping, learning instead of complaining, saving instead of wasting. Your future self will thank you for every one of those choices. Take a daily life example. Imagine you have 2 hours in the evening. You could spend it watching TV or mindlessly scrolling through social media. Or you could spend it learning a skill, maybe editing, cooking, designing, coding, public speaking, writing, photography, anything that sharpens your mind. One choice gives you temporary entertainment, the other gives you lifelong empowerment. When you invest in a skill, you are not just learning something, you're increasing your value, your confidence, your opportunities. Another example, finances. Maybe you earn a little money and immediately spend it because the thrill feels good for a moment. But what if you saved a portion of it? What if you invested in a course, a book, or a tool that helps you grow? What if you built a savings habit, no matter how small? Your future self would feel safer, freer, stronger. People often say, I'll invest when I'm successful. But the truth is, investing is how you become successful. Growth doesn't arrive after success. Growth is what builds success. Investing in your future self also means healing. You can't become the best version of yourself while carrying the weight of old wounds, old trauma, old fears. Take time to understand your emotions, journal, talk, reflect, cut toxic people, build boundaries, prioritize peace. These things don't look like growth from the outside, but inside your future self is being shaped into someone far stronger than your past could ever imagine. Think about your health. People ignore their bodies until they break. But investing in your future self means taking that walk, eating that healthier meal, drinking water, stretching, sleeping early, caring for your body, because one day you will desperately wish you had taken better care of yourself. Every healthy choice today writes a healthier tomorrow. Your body carries you through life. Treat it like the vehicle of your dreams, not like a machine you can abandon. Relationships matter too. Time spent building meaningful connections, learning emotional intelligence, improving communication, and understanding your boundaries is never wasted. These investments prevent future heartbreak, future misunderstandings, and future regrets. When you choose healthier relationships today, your future self lives with peace, not emotional trauma. Another powerful example, learning to sit with discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable. Waking up early is uncomfortable. Saying no to temptation is uncomfortable. Studying when you feel lazy is uncomfortable. Working out when your body wants to rest is uncomfortable. But discomfort is the currency of your future self's success. Nothing worthwhile grows in comfort. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, your future self becomes stronger. Every time you choose effort over excuses, your future self becomes more powerful. Think about how much time people waste on drama, arguments, gossip, jealousy, comparison. None of that contributes to your future. None of that pays you back. None of that shapes you into someone better. Investing in your future self means refusing to participate in anything that drains you. Protect your mind like a treasure chest. Only allow in thoughts that build you, not break you. Even rest is an investment. Proper sleep, quiet time, self-care, these things refuel your mind, sharpen your focus, recharge your spirit. Rest is not laziness, rest is preparation. When you rest right, you rise stronger, your future self benefits from every minute you spend nourishing your mental and emotional well-being. And here's a truth most people avoid, your future self is created in private. The work you do when no one is watching, the hours you invest in your growth silently, the sacrifices you make behind the scenes, those are the moments that build a version of you the world will one day admire. You don't need applause, you don't need validation, you don't need everyone to understand your journey. What you need is commitment to yourself, your dreams, your evolution. Invest in your future self, even if it feels slow, even if no one notices, even if it's uncomfortable. The seeds you plant today will become the forest you walk in tomorrow. Every minute spent on self-growth is a minute deposited into the bank of your destiny. You're not wasting time. You're building a future where you stand stronger, wiser, calmer, richer, healthier, and more powerful than you've ever been. When you walk like a queen with standards, the entire world feels the shift. Because real power isn't loud, it's steady, calm, and untouchable. A queen isn't made the day she gets a crown. She's made on the days she decides what she will no longer tolerate, who she will no longer chase, and what she will no longer settle for. You rise the moment you stop going back to people, places, and patterns that shrink your spirit. And this rise, this transformation, becomes your loudest statement. You know, in daily life, we all face moments where we feel tempted to return to something familiar, an old relationship, an old habit, an old comfort zone. It's like seeing a door slightly open behind you. You know it leads to the same pain, the same chaos, the same confusion. But because it's familiar, your heart pulls you back. Think of that friend who keeps running back to the person who broke her, thinking maybe this time he'll change. But the truth is simple. When you keep walking back, you stay the same. When you finally walk away, you become someone new. Walking like a queen means walking with a standard, a level no one can pull you beneath again. In life, standards are not rules, they're reflections of your self-worth. When you decide, I won't accept half love, half effort, half respect, you raise the bar not just for others, but for yourself. Look around. Anyone who has ever transformed their life didn't do it by going back. They did it by stepping into a future that scared them, challenged them, and demanded better from them. And somewhere in that journey they discovered, the moment you stop going back is the moment you start glowing. Think of that girl who worked at a small office, always overlooked, always quiet, always doubting herself. She finally decided she deserved more, so she applied for a bigger job, moved to a new city, and left behind the comfort of familiarity. Everyone told her she was making a mistake, but she walked with her standards high, her head higher. Today she leads her department, not because she was lucky, but because she didn't walk back through the same old doors. She kept walking forward, even when it was scary. Daily life is full of situations like this. Someone says something hurtful, and you want to run back to convince them of your worth. Don't. Someone ignores your value, and you want to chase their validation. Don't. Someone walks away and your heart wants to run after them. Don't. Queens do not run after what is walking away from them. Queens know that anything meant for them will stay, will grow, will build, not break. You may not feel like a queen every day. Some days you feel tired, insecure, emotional. But even on those days, your standards must stand strong. You don't lower your standards because you're lonely. You don't lower your standards because someone else is inconsistent. You don't lower your standards because your heart is weak. A weak moment should never make you return to a weak situation. Real standards come with real discipline. It's saying no to that late night message from someone who only remembers you when they're bored. It's blocking the door to people who enter your life like a storm and leave like a thief. It's choosing peace over drama, growth over repetition, love over attention, and self-worth over temporary comfort. When you stop going back, life rewards you. New opportunities walk in. New people who recognize your worth show up. New levels open, because the universe doesn't send blessings to someone who's busy entertaining burdens. The moment you walk away from what drains you, you make space for what builds you. There's a dialogue every queen must learn to tell herself. I don't chase, I don't beg, I don't return to what broke me. I rise, I evolve, I choose myself, and the world listens. People treat you with the respect you demand, not the kindness you beg for. They see that you carry yourself differently, not arrogantly, but powerfully. You speak with intention, walk with purpose, love with clarity, and choose with strength. You start living like someone who knows her value, not someone waiting for others to approve it. Picture yourself walking through life like this. Every step grounded, every decision intentional, every boundary firm. When someone tries to pull you into chaos, you simply smile and walk forward. When someone gives you half effort, you return nothing. When someone tries to come back, you remember the night you cried yourself to sleep and whisper, "I don't go back anymore." When you walk like a queen with standards, you stop needing validation, you stop craving attention, you stop waiting for apologies, you stop explaining your worth, you simply live it, boldly, loudly, beautifully. And here's the truth that changes everything. When you stop going back, you level up. You don't lose anything, you gain yourself. And now, as this message reaches the deepest part of you, remember this truth: your life will only rise to the level of the standards you set. Queens are not defined by the battles they faced, but by the moments they refused to bow down to what tried to break them. You become unstoppable the day you decide that backward is no longer an option. Only forward, only upward, only higher. There is a fire inside you that wakes up the moment you choose yourself. And once that fire burns, nothing and no one can dim it again. There comes a time in every woman's journey when she must close the chapter that keeps reopening her wounds. And when she does, the world feels her shift. The air around her changes. Her energy becomes sharper, brighter, stronger. That's the moment she becomes unforgettable. You are standing on that very line right now, the line between who you were and who you are becoming. And all it takes is one decision: never go back. Not to the pain, not to the doubt, not to the people who didn't value you, not to the version of you that's settled. The past may whisper your name, but your destiny is calling louder. You must live with this belief: I am not here to repeat cycles, I am here to create miracles. Every great transformation in history began with someone saying, enough. Enough of shrinking, enough of waiting for someone to choose you, enough of explaining your worth to people who were blind to it, enough of giving your soul to places that didn't recognize its value. You walk away because you love yourself too much to stay where love doesn't live. You rise because your future deserves a stronger version of you, not the wounded one your past created. Hear this and let it settle into your bones. Your silence is power. Your standards are your crown. Your self-respect is your throne. When you enforce these, the world aligns with your energy. People treat you differently. Opportunities gravitate towards you. Life opens doors where walls once stood. You become magnetic, not because you chase, but because you choose. Not because you beg, but because you believe. Not because someone validates you, but because you validate yourself. Think about the strongest version of you. The woman who wakes up with fire in her eyes, who walks with elegance and certainty, who speaks with clarity, who knows what she stands for and what she will never tolerate again. She isn't a dream. She isn't far away. She's you, minus the fear. She's you, minus the past. She's you, the moment you say, I am done going backwards. Let every heartbreak teach you standards. Let every betrayal teach you boundaries. Let every disappointment teach you direction. You didn't go through everything just to repeat the same story. You survived so you could rewrite it. You grew so you could elevate. You hurt so you could understand your power. And now is the moment you step into your greatness without apology. So promise yourself one thing right now. Never again will you walk back into a room that made you question your worth. Never again will you fight for someone who did not fight for you. Never again will you allow your heart to settle for almost, for maybe, for sometimes. You were not born for halves. You were born for wholeness. You were not created for chaos. You were created for purpose. You were not made to chase. You were made to choose. Say these words like a vow to your soul. I do not return to what broke me. I do not beg for what left me. I do not chase what confuses me. I walk forward. I rise higher. I choose myself every single time, because the moment you stop going back, the world starts coming to you. And that is when you become unstoppable.